So we're gonna go, this one is this one is really good. Who has used this? It's not, I know somebody has, because I heard someone talk about it a while ago, but use AI to just like build a website or build any kind of anything like that. Yeah. So there's quite a few tools that do that as well. So we won't spend a ton of time on this. You'll have access to it. I'm going to give you that master prompt I told you about. Who has a really cool website that you know of that you're like, man, I really like that design? Obviously, we don't want to just copy people's websites, but you can use their brand color. You can't put your own brand colors in there and make it all your own, right? So, does anybody have one they want to use? That want to do this live here? Nobody?
I guess my company.
Your company? All right, cool. By the way, guys, we still got plenty of time. It's only 9:15. I'm doing good. I think I'm like getting through this pretty good. I don't know. I feel like I'm doing pretty good. All right. So, what was the name of that website you have?
ccdiusa.com.
CCDI. Does that look familiar? Okay. All right, so I have your full permission to replicate this website, right? I'm going to delete it as soon as we're finished.
I'm a project coordinator.
I'll tell them you told me it was fine. No worries. Yeah. Ask for forgiveness, right?
Yeah.
All right. Please recreate this website for me. What you put in is what you get out. Remember that, guys. It can get 1,000 times better than this. Okay, so what I said a while ago is like the marketers and all that. You still need them. They're super valuable. Like, get them to help you use these tools. Right? That's what I recommend.
Ask you to make it better.
My dictation does not work very well because I'm from Georgia. Shout out to the venue for having decent internet, so I'm not up here stumbling all over myself, man. This could have been really bad. That's the one thing I've been really concerned about, because like AI told me, hey, you need to create some videos and just press play and show them the thing. And I'm like, no, I want to do it like live, you know? So I'm glad AI wasn't right this time. All right, so it's fetching the website. On that left side, it always tells you like what it's doing, and then it'll give you like a checklist of all the things it's getting ready to do, and then it'll check all the things off as it does them. So when all this stuff first started, like it wasn't real. It was just like a facade, right? But if you spend enough time going back and forth with it, like you can literally press buttons, make phone calls, chat with on the website. So it's like this is becoming more and more real every day.
Lost my shoe. Sorry about that. Didn't mean to make such a fuss in front of everybody. I'm just trying
No
to
worries.
adjust the lighting.
Yes, that's.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea.
It's a good thing I'm here.
Yeah,
Good thing I'm here.
I love it.
With one shoe.
You got one.
It's right out of my shoe. I could barely see the screens.
I'm glad you did that. I didn't even think of it. You guys should have told me something. I asked you guys if you could see the screen. So just give it a few minutes here. So it's setting up the theme of the layout, and then it has to build the hero, the mission, and the services, to build the social proof. There's like 5 or 6 different things it's got to do here. How long do you guys think a website like this would let's just look at the website. Actually,
Weeks.
how long would a website like this normally take to?
Very long.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, weeks and no telling what someone would charge to do it, right? So.
Could you put in like, say, there's
there's 3 websites that I love, and I want to merge them together to make one app.
So yes, full transparency about the tool, okay? All of the tools you have to work with, it still takes time. Like, yes, I'm fixing to show you an abracadabra, but there's still time involved. Like, okay, now you've got the layout. Now you've got to tell it, I want you to do this, and I want you to fix this, and I want you to put this here, and I want you to put the SEO in it. I want you. There's still a lot of pieces, right? But you're not physically doing all, like, you're telling it what to do. Right? That's the biggest difference. But it's still, like, there's still time, there's still expertise involved in knowing that. Because the more you know about it, the more you know what to tell it to do. That's really the best way I can, like, explain that. So we're almost there. Anybody have any questions while I'm still finishing up? Like, any questions about everything we kind of talked about? I know I've been like coming from a fire hydrant. I just wanted to make sure I at least touched on some of the pieces so you guys knew what you had in your arsenals for the next 30 days so you can start playing with it for free. And by the way, like someone mentioned earlier about the tokens, this stuff is not actually free, right? They charge token money for this, but we're going to give this to you guys, and we're going to give you a wallet for it so that you actually are able to use it. So that's why I'm showing you like what's in here so you can use it, and then you can go use whichever ones you want as well. So you're going to get a document that helps you build these things, and you can kind of like use this as a template, and you're going to get these slides as well. I'm sorry, go ahead.
So when you build the workflow, in, first creating it, you give it the prompt and everything, but when you get to the refinement portion, are you able to just say, okay, add this, and then it'll add it, or do you have to like backtrack and kind of give it a whole new prompt to redo it with that integrated?
Great question. No, so yeah, you just literally just tell it what piece you want it to fix and what it needs to do with that piece. And back and forth. And like you're gonna provide photos a lot of times. Maybe you got your photos from somewhere else because you didn't like what it was producing, or whatever the case is, you're gonna provide content and different things that make it more yours. But yes, you tell it which specific spot you want to make better. And that's one reason why you need to know what it is. Like, what is a hero image, right? What is the header? What is the foot? All those things matter, because the more precise you can be about telling it what you're actually trying to do, the better it's going to be at actually doing it.
So you feel like with something like this, like building a website, it'd probably be better to have like a marketing professional to say, hey, this is what we need to include, or
if you're a business just starting out and you like, it's like every business is different, and like most businesses when they're just starting out, cash flow is really small and they're really just trying to get to the next level. So no, I recommend you absolutely taking this tool and go to figure it out, and then later get somebody else to do it after you have more money, but yes, can this get you there? Yes, it can get you there. And it can get you even beyond there, but like you're spending your time on this when that's not really what you signed up for. Does that make sense? What do we get here? Okay, so that's just the first round of it. And it will never, generally speaking, it's not gonna do the like exact replica, because that's kind of like, yeah, they're not supposed to do that, but it's gonna be like the same feel, the same design, and then you're gonna go through and make it your own. So yeah, if you're a small business just starting out and you don't have backing, you don't have cash flow, and you're just trying to get sales, I recommend using a tool like this and staying up till midnight and getting it done, and just keep working with it. That's what I recommend. If you're a business that has cash flow of any kind or backing, then I recommend you working with professionals that can get you there faster. This thing is just the fast button to get you there and get you moving. And the faster you get moving, the faster you get things going, the more money you're gonna be able to make doing what you normally do. That's kind of my take on it.
So what happens after we build all this amazing stuff? Then what happens after 30 days?
Well, that's a great question. What happens after 30 days? So you can either take the code and go put it in whatever platform you want, which will give you the code, or you can keep using it here. After 30 days, the smallest package is like $147 a month. So, and honestly, we didn't even used to do that. So we're AI partner, which means that what I told you from the beginning is we like help you build AI systems to help you get your revenue from your business to the moon. That's literally what we do. We don't sell tools. But what we found is that there's a lot of small businesses that still want to utilize the tools, and we have all the tools in one place, right? And so that everybody has to start somewhere, just like what I just got finished saying. And so like if you're not at a point where you can afford an AI partner, full-fledged AI partner, because truthfully, like what we do at scale is it's not cheap, right? But it will scale your revenue and it will give you a good return on your investment. However, not every business is at that point, right? Some businesses are literally at the beginning and they're willing to put in all the sweat equity to do that, and that's the only reason we even opened up the tool source, right? And you guys can either, you're welcome to continue using this, or you can go get, like, I'm gonna give you a list of probably 50 to 100 AI tools that we're aware of, and the list is in the thousands, and they're going out of business and coming in business every single day. So again, we're not selling tools. Like, that's not what we do. We're giving you access to tools. If you guys want to use the tool, that's perfectly fine. If not, that's fine as well. We can, at 30 days, to answer your question, I got passionate about it. We give you the code. You go do what you want to with it, wherever you want to do it, or you leave it where it's at. Totally up to you.
So so in terms of the website, so what's the output? Is it like an HTML file? And the reason why I asked is like my current process is using Cowork. It generates an HTML, and then I put it on Netlify, and Netlify pushes it to production. Like, does this go from start to finish all the way to production?
Yes, it can go start to finish all the way to production.
Okay.
Yeah, so it can get, so that's the tricky part, right? If it gives you the code, then you have to go put it in the place that will render the code.
Yeah.
Right? And it's not an HTML code. So like if it was just an HTML code, you could go put it in any funnel builder you could find, plug it into the code, and it would just pop up and everything would work. That's what you're referring to.
Yeah.
And it's not HTML code, it's like the actual website code. So when you go put it into an HTML code editor, it's not gonna pop up anything worth looking at, basically is what it boils down to. Now, if you decide to publish it here, you would just hit publish, and then this would be live, and then you could add a custom domain to it, and it would live here. Your domain would point to it. So your domain still lives wherever, and it actually connects up to this particular site. Good question.
How difficult is it to like create something like, you know, you want to create accounts and things like that? Is it relatively good? This particular tool pretty good at creating accounts, billing, and things like that. Kind of goes through the entire flow. If you know, does it have that capability?
You're talking about like invoicing and all that? I mean,
Yeah.
like invoicing, contracts, phone, text, email. Like, you need to know what you want to do when you go in here, okay? Because you'll be everywhere. Like landing pages, I don't know, like websites are kind of, you know, a little bit outdated in a lot of ways. Everybody has one, but you still need landing pages for different things, right? And so, like, you do landing pages, you can help get the AI to help you with the landing page and connecting all the forms and all the crazy stuff on the back end too. So yeah, it's a great question.
With the website, so the website's developed, and now it's pointing back to it, but the website's completed, but the tool is holding it, and just the domain is pointing to it. It's not doing any additional AI, correct?
Yeah, so actually you can have AI built into it. It all depends on
But
what
if
you
you
put
did-
in there.
But if you didn't, are you still paying tokens or hosting fees?
I don't know, it's
or
just,
something?
it's almost like just Wix, like if you, help me, what's the, WordPress, yeah. WordPress, right? So like you point your domain to WordPress, or you can have your domain stationed anywhere basically on whatever server, and WordPress is like where it's built, so you would point it to that. Yeah. So no, there's not. No, once you point it there, it's like it's there. It's not.
So once it
charged.
wrote it, I could take that and put it in WordPress.
I'm sorry?
Like, once it's completed, I could take the code, I could take the CSS files, the HTML, and move it over to WordPress.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, you can actually connect WordPress to this too. Like,
Okay.
There's just so many different whatever you want to do really. But yeah, there's tons you can do with it for sure. Great question. And no, it's not costing you money now. like if you're activating AI inside the website and AI is starting to do stuff for you in the website, then I mean, the large language models have the monopoly on large language models. Like that, there's no way around that. They're getting their money, right? The question is, how efficient are you going to be at using them? That's really the big question, because they're going to get their money no matter what. Like, we didn't go build a large language model. That's not what this is. However, we have all of them in here. So Claude, OpenAI, all of them are in here, and you can use whichever one you prefer. So if you prefer ChatGPT to talk to your people, by the way, that was full disclosure. The voice you just heard, that was Claude. Claude was the large language model. Obviously, Claude still had to have guardrails and things that it knew it could do and couldn't do, but the large language model was Claude. Yes, sir.
So given what you just said, does that imply that you also have that the ability to, like, so if we have accounts with any of these AI providers, we could link projects and memory into your platform or not?
Yes, you can. Yes, MCP. You're referring to MCPs, and yes, you can. Good question.
So in your experience, have you used any, I guess you can have smaller large language models, like even hosted on a MacBook or something like that. Have you tried that? And like, for example, for something simple like, you know, responding to messages and stuff, and have you tried that, and how much of a rat's nest is that? Is that easy, difficult, or
I mean, there's a lot of moving parts to the open source. Basically, is what you're talking about, open source. I don't personally use it because of the security reasons and stuff like that. I don't really like. I would rather use one of the other ones that the security's already built in. My personal preference, but I hear a lot of good things about them. You're talking about like Omen and a couple of different. There's a few different ones like that. But yeah, I hear a lot of good things about them. But I personally don't use them.
would you recommend doing something like OpenClaw? Have you experimented with OpenClaw?
I hear a lot of really good stuff about OpenClaw, and I also know that Claude Code is like, yeah, I mean, depending on what you're using it for, but yes, ma'am.
Yeah, I've heard Claude, this guy spoke at a sickle cell conference. He actually healed himself with Claude. Regenerate, yeah, following a regimen. He had sickle cell disease, and he was literally at, kind of, he said, literally almost at his deathbed from dealing with the diagnosis and the disease, but he healed himself, regenerated his body off of Claude.
Yeah. And so that's a really good point you brought up, though, because like
Dr. Claude.
all of these different tools you can use for different things, right? And they all have different levels that you can use. And so, but the smaller levels can be used for really good stuff that will save you a lot of money, right? Because the larger levels are going to cost you a lot more, so you only want them doing your most complex tasks, right? So having all that set up properly is really where the bread and butter is, because that's where you kind of save money instead of just spend money on tons and tons of tokens for no reason. Because if you have the same one set up for the voice AI, right, that you're just doing a normal conversation with, right, or you're just creating some normal text for, that's a huge waste, because it wasn't built for that. It was built to perform like it just performed in this room. That's what it was built for. So that's a really good question, and it's really important to have all of those things distinguished. Like, what should this be used for?
Right.
That's it. Like Claude is really virtually useless for images. It doesn't really do that great with images, but that's not what it's built for. That's not what it's supposed to do. You know, so it does what it's supposed to do very, very well. So we went through those pieces right there, and then I kind of want to show you. Do you guys have any questions? I feel like I'm giving you guys like so much through. What would you want to see more of? Tell me that, because like it's literally like endless. What would you want to see more of? I don't want to like go glaze over everything. Let's just make this thing send us a text real quick. So did you guys see value in it sending a text when a contact was created, or not? or when something happens.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I think the piece to me that's missing is it can do all these things, but how do you connect it to your business? Like,
Yeah.
how does it know who to call or what phone number to call, or like, what does that initial integration look like? When I'm working with my clients, usually the biggest problem they have is their own data. Their own first party data isn't structured.
Yeah.
So I would think there'd be a little bit of homework, like, how do I make sure that my business is ready to plug into this so that it knows who to call, what a contact is, and then, what my CRM is outside, or how I get it into here.
Yeah, it's a great question. So it's actually where AI really excels, is in data configuration, right? So if you know what you want, we can go into whatever system as long as it has an API and extrapolate that data. And if not, you can do an export and take that data and put it into whichever platform you prefer. And I didn't show you guys. So this is. Actually, I did show you that. So the nodes I showed you a while ago. So that's where it kind of gets a lot more techy and stuff like that. So basically, you can tell it to like go to you could take this contact list. Say you didn't, the list was old, and you didn't have the right phone numbers anymore, right? Or it was just incorrect information. I kind of glazed over this a few minutes ago. But basically, you can take a list of any kind, and you can say, hey, I want all the people in this list from the last 24 months or the last 48 months or whatever it is. And all the people that did buy, I want them over here, and all the people that didn't buy, I want them over here. And the people that bought a lot, I want them over here, right? And then I want you to take all of these lists, and I'm just telling you how it works. Now, there's obviously all these nodes that have to happen to make these things work. And the APIs, there's literally thousands of different tools that you can do this stuff with. You can connect it to LinkedIn, you can connect it to your email, you can connect it to Facebook, you can connect it to Apollo. And so that's how it goes and puts these personalized messages together, is you can connect it through these nodes in these API keys, and when you connect it and tell it what you want it to do, it can go to LinkedIn and scan and see what all you're interested in the thing, whatever you tell it you want to know about LinkedIn, it can go do that, put that together, and it's going to live with that contact. And whether you have that contact in your own CRM or if you have it, I mean, this could work like that too. Wherever you keep it, you can file it there, and as long as it has custom fields, you want to have some sort of custom fields that can track all of those things that you're trying to know. And so, like, if you send it to Apollo, it's going to find you the most updated email, right? The most updated phone number, and then it's going to just basically like fix your list. If your list is totally messed up and you never got emails and you never got phone numbers, Apollo's going to charge you something for it, but you can have a complete list of all the people that. Yes, ma'am.
So right now we're trying to integrate with HubSpot, so that's kind of where we have our entire CRM platform. So if we chose to use this to go in for like lead generation and stuff like that with the contacts that we already have, is it updating that data in HubSpot, or is there, a page on this that we're viewing those changes?
Great
Does that make
question.
sense?
So both. I mean, as long as whatever system you have has an API, like that's like where the main connector is if it has an API or not. And most of them do. HubSpot has API. Pretty much every CRM I know of has API. And yeah, so you could do both. It's a bolt-on. Make it bolt right on. Yeah. And then, or you could use this is. Use boards inside of here. There's all different, like, if I went through all this, we would be here for like multiple days, but there's like boards to keep you on track, and then those boards can automatically move when certain things happen. And so like this is just a real simple one that is a reactivation campaign. And all of this stuff moves by itself. And so but if a human wants to come and look at it, they can see where it's at in the process and what's going on with it, and so that just kind of like pulls it. It's kind of like a CRM. So you could either look in something like this, or you could continue to look in HubSpot, and this could just move the things in HubSpot. Hopefully that wasn't a drawn out answer. Yeah, sometimes I get lost in this stuff. So that's deep.
Yeah, so I don't mean to interrupt, but an analogy guy. So I'm a reasonably decent handyman, right? I've helped people finish off a room or that kind of stuff. And if you equate it to kind of like a toolbox, right? I could use a hammer, but a contractor's going to bill, or if we have a contest, I'm going to lose hands down. How do you learn this? There's so much out there, and that's why I like the approach you're taking, because it goes from AI, I think, to me, and probably other people in the room are similar to me, but other people understand it better, is ChatGPT. But it's so much more than that. How do you really start to learn what the tools can do, and how do you use them? If that makes sense. Like, because it's so much. I look at the toolbox and I don't know what the hell that thing is. I'm going to use a screwdriver for a pry bar because it's there.
Yeah.
But
Well, that's a great question, and honestly, myself, I feel like I have a little bit of an advantage on this situation because I told you guys over 10, 12 years ago I was using automation at its clunkiest state, and I've been using it consistently since then. So for me, I kind of understand those things a lot better, and I kind of like put a little, I don't think about it so much because I just go in there and use it, right? But that's really the best case, is you go in and start using these different tools. The good news about this particular thing is you can go and start for the next 30 days and use all of these. I haven't showed you anywhere near all the AI capabilities. The voice is in there, the conversation is in there, anything you could ever heard of about AI is in here, okay? So my recommendation is go start seeing what it can actually do. That'd be the first thing, because it's gonna open up your eyes to what is actually possible. Is like using, because these are some of the best tools out there, basically. I use them kind of like in a different setting. I could kind of pull the setting up, but it's like a real nerdy setting, right? It's way more than different than what I showed you guys, but it still does a lot of the same things, just at scale, basically. But my recommendation, and I know it sounds cliche, but just like start using it. Because if I hadn't started using the automation 10 or 12 years ago, I would have no idea what I'm looking at right now. Like, I just feel like I have an unfair advantage in that particular situation. Anybody that's used the AI tools, you guys want to answer that as well? I mean, I'll open it up. Like, that's my recommendation, is just start using them and ask it, hey, how can I? What else can I do with it? Who in here uses Cowork? This is a gold nugget if you don't use Cowork.
What is it?
Cowork.
Co-work.
It's like if you don't take anything else out of this today, Cowork. So download Claude on your computer.
It just takes over your computer.
If it's not on your computer, get it on your computer, trust it, give it a computer you can trust. I don't care what you do, but start using it. And Cowork will literally run your computer for you. Cowork. See, so you guys just opened up another whole big can of worms, but that's okay. So Cowork, literally, you can go in. First of all, just go in and ask it what all it can do. Give me a list of everything you can do for me, and what do I need to have connected here for you to be able to do it, right?
Is that something like you can
question.
modify documents and stuff like that?
It can do all types of stuff. Yes, it can modify documents. So to answer that, you can go into Cowork and say, hey, I want you to spin up an agent for me and tell me all of the different grants that are available for this particular type of business. Tell me all the different loans that are available for this particular type of business. Here's my information on this business, and I want you to tell me how viable it is for me to be able to get that. And then it does it. It goes and comes back with that list and tells you those things. Then you're like, okay, well, are you able to fill those applications out for me? And it's like, yeah, I can do that for you. Do that, and it'll do it. So my point is, if you don't have Cowork, like, just get it. Just start using it. Or I haven't used. Somebody told me about Copilot recently. I'm not a Microsoft fan at all. I mean, that's okay. But somebody told me about Copilot recently. I don't know if it sounds similar to Cowork. I don't know if it does some of the same things or not. But Cowork, yeah, you can literally have it doing the different things while, like, you could tell it, hey, I want you to do this, and then you're doing, and then you tell it, no, hey, I want you to do this. But the more you use it, the better you're going to get with the tool.
They just announced something called Scout, which is supposed to be the next gen Copilot, highly capable, likely competing with Claude Cowork and Claude Code. However, it's based on their relationship with OpenAI.
Yeah.
So you're basically just getting a rebundled, Microsoft typified agent. So
Yeah.
if you are dead set on staying Microsoft, that's the natural choice, but most people aren't.
Nice, yeah. I mean, I recommend like they're all growing at a really rapid pace. My recommendation is use all of them and get familiar. Like know what you want to do and figure out what each one of them do the best and use them all. Because truth of the matter is, like, Anthropic to me is probably up here right now, and Chat is with certain things, right? With the things I use it for, right? Chat is like down here right now, but Chat knows that too, right? Everybody understands AI as Chat. So what do you think Chat's doing right now? It's trying to catch up, but 100%. Same thing with Grok though. Grok AI is super intelligent, but there's a lot of things it doesn't do really well yet because it's not up here with Anthropic yet. In my opinion, Grok is probably better than Chat in a lot of ways. Chat is kind of, in my opinion, unless you have it set up properly and you have it like really feeding from the way you want it to, it can be more of a time consumption probably than anything. And it's built that way basically. It's like the new social media pretty much.
So one of the big use cases I try to use it for, co-work, is just web searching. I've got the $100 subscription,
Yeah.
and like in 3 hours it can burn through that, and then I gotta wait another 5
Yeah.
hours.
Full disclosure, it's going to cost you money, but if you compare that money to what it would have cost you otherwise, or that not getting done at all, right?
So
yeah.
does the tool you're sharing, does that do web scraping?
Oh yeah,
It
yeah. I
does?
mean, it does. Yeah. So I still use co-work a lot. Though, I'm telling you, like, kid used to use co-work. Like, don't just bury yourself in this one. But yes, it does. It has all those same capabilities. But it bolts on to. I mean, they all come from like they're. You know what I mean? Like the benefit is you have access to all of them in one place, but still co-work. You're going to get some things out of it that you're not going to get other places, right? So definitely start using it, and you're already using it, so that's great as well. I think I seen a hand.
Yeah, I have a question. When you have different AI programs running on your computer, is there a chance that they will start working against each other or doing damage to each other? Because I watched a podcast. I watched a podcast, and it was with a guy that was really high up in AI, and this is one of the things that he warned about. It's like AI is very intelligent, and they don't want to use another program and leave them, start not using them. And he was talking about how that might be a problem, because they don't know, right?
Yeah.
And my computer, since I've been having all kinds of AI programs running on it, I don't know, I'm having issues. Then it's slow, then I've got to reboot my email, I've got to constantly reboot it, switch it off, which I've never done before. So could that be an issue or no?
So yes, it absolutely can. I mean, it's a lot deeper thing, right? Like that's when you
It's a
start getting
scary
pretty
world
deep
once
into
you
it.
start getting into it.
Yeah, once you start getting pretty deep into it, and it's one of the reasons I don't use things like OpenClaw.
Okay.
Right? Because the security goes, nope, like everybody that tells you about OpenClaw will tell you it goes way down. Like you have to like have your security things really worked out when it comes to that. It can really, so I stick with like the major ones, but even with those, you still have to, like that gets a lot deeper. It's a really great question, it gets a lot deeper, but you still have to have like an operating system. At that point, when you get to that point and you're using it that much, you need an operating system, which is like telling it, not, literally putting hard stops on allowing it to get past this gate. This one is like, you're not even allowed to talk right now.
And so what would an operating system like that be? What would that be?
It's almost like your filing system in your computer. That's about the simplest way I can explain it. Like so like your folders in your computer, that's like, it's not like what it is, but that's the simplest way I can explain it. So it has information that it has to read first before it does anything, right? So it says, okay, I have to read this document before I can do anything else, right? I mean, whenever you start using co-work, you'll see some of what I'm talking about. They have skills in there. So that's like one of them is like you can use the skill, and they're not supposed to. If you tell it to use that skill, it reads it, and it can only do it the way it's supposed to. It'll aggravate you sometimes because it's like, can I do this? Can I do this? Can I do this? And if you don't just say, just do it, then it's going to keep asking.
But then you say,
so yeah, but
just
the
do
deeper
it.
you get, the more you're going to need more stuff. I mean, literally, like this is. I mean, yeah, we do this all day, and I have a team. Like it's just, it is a job. I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's not. It's 100%. There's a lot that happens for sure.
So you probably mentioned this a little bit, but to reframe it, so you mentioned like the text and the email and all the integrations that you do. You're using this as a kind of a business admin side. How hard is it to add social media, like to coordinate with an email campaign or a text campaign, all that kind of stuff to do social media posts? Is it capable of doing that in a coordinated fashion?
It is. So, like wherever you want to do it, you could do it. Like you could do it with all the different connections in the background, like we talked about, with all the different tools. You can do that here, so you can connect your social media, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, all that can be managed here. And basically in any automation, so like if you wanted a trigger to be something that happened in Facebook, then you can do that. So like, so if you wanted, whatever the thing is that you wanted to connect and it to do, it could either like move it along in the process. Now it has to be your business page if it's in here, so you're not gonna connect like a personal page in here, that's not gonna work. You'd have to connect a business page, but like, so triggers. So I'm more on the strategy side, so if I like mistype something up here or something, forgive me. I understand all this, and I've done it all for all this time, and I still do a lot of it, especially when I get in a pickle. However, I don't do it all the time. So, and I work in different environments too. So that's like Facebook lead form. If you had it connected to your ads and a Facebook lead form gets submitted, then you can make it do something. So the trigger is what triggers the situation, right? And then you can make it do something. So say you wanted it to do something with Facebook, you can add it to a custom audience, remove from a custom audience, do the conversion API, and then there's other connectors you can connect as well that will let you like do messaging, listen for messages, answer messages, all of that stuff. I hope that answers your question. I tell you, whenever you go in here and start messing around with anything AI or any of this stuff, you gotta have a real direct path because you can be everywhere. Yes, sir.
Do you have any success stories for any of your existing customers, given that you're talking about like, paid advertising, paid SEO, where the agent has, optimized it where it reduced the ad spend and while not curtailing any of the performance effectiveness of it?
Yeah, 100%. But let's be completely transparent about that. You can only reduce so far. You can add tremendous, like to the moon, right? But you can only reduce to a certain degree. So my point with that is like a really good marketer. If you already have a really good marketer, then and they're staying on top of it, they should have it reduced to that point.
Like,
however,
example,
you can still set up those systems for it. Yes.
If it said, you let it analyze where you're at, and it says, take Facebook. Facebook has the concept of groups, right?
Yeah.
You're better off, removing ads from this group and going to that group because there's a higher, propensity for.
It does fantastic with data. Now Facebook in general, especially with groups and all that stuff, you can't automate a lot of stuff for that. You can, but Facebook may ban you, right? If you're like automating, there's apps that you can connect to that you can automate with it that are more trusted by Facebook. But you have to be careful with just plugging AI directly into Facebook because it starts looking for those patterns, and then it could potentially block your account. But yes, as far as like the actual data of like, hey, this is the best place. If you only have 3 places you can post in, and you only have that kind of time, that's where it works best. Thank you, those places. Yes. All right. That's it. No more questions.
So one of the themes that keeps coming up when you're discussing all of these is making sure that you have clarity to understand what you're going for, and that makes a lot of sense because these are like really genius children. Do you have like a recommendation or a tool that you use to discuss with, to actually get clarification on exactly what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I mean, yeah. I would never use Claude Code for, well, I wouldn't say never use Claude Code. That's not what Claude Code is built for. If I'm already in Claude Code and I'm doing something in Claude Code, I'm probably going to ask it a random question to get closer to where I want to be. However, if I'm building a plan, I'm going to use one of the, especially if it's like a plan that I want really well thought out and it'd be a really good strategy, I'm going to use the highest model, and I'm going to try different models, and I'm going to get different angles from the models. So like, you've got ChatGPT 5 point whatever it is now, it's probably 7.3 by now, I don't know. And then you've got Claude that's 4.8, I think, which I personally feel like was a step back. I don't even use that one because like I've tried to use it and it just feels like, what did you guys do here? I don't know, that's my opinion. Don't tell everybody that, but that's just how I feel about it, right? But they'll recover from it. Like they just try to, push it out too really fast. But yeah, the chatbot. So that's where the chatbots come in really handy, right? So use the chatbots to like get your, now don't stay in a chatbot too long. I don't know, you probably that wasn't what this is about. I'm sure you guys have heard plenty of those spills, but when you stay in it, you probably already noticed it. If you stay in a chatbot too long and you try to plan in that chatbot too long, eventually you're like, what happened, right? So if you notice it starting to give you random answers or starting to run you in a circle, get out. But you really want to make it a habit to start a new chat every so often, right? If you're making a strategy, you use that information, right, and then you go ask more questions in a different chat. If you don't have it connected to an operating system, you've got to connect to an operating system. It's going to collect that information, and you're going to build on it like building blocks. Yes, sir.
Seth, from your experience, so we talk about sales and potentially marketing and lead generation, stuff like that, where it seems like there's a pretty good business case for it. Or in your experience, have you seen anything where there's like, you're going to spend more time on money on tokens, time maintaining it, setting it up, don't do it? Yes, it's feasible, you can do it. Are there certain examples where it's like, don't even work, right now it's not worth going through it, at least at this point in time?
Cold calling?
Cold calling?
Yeah. That's the first thing that comes to mind. Just because everybody has the blocker for it, it doesn't really.
Gotcha.
Cold calling. I'm not saying it would be crazy to say it doesn't work anymore because that's not true.
Yeah.
It's just a lot more difficult than it used to be. Hopefully that would be literally the first thing that comes to mind.
Do you have yours set up to where you can post on all the platforms at one time? Is it something you can demo for us, or you don't have it set up?
So it wouldn't be something. So that's generally something. Yes, you can do it.
You can. Okay.
No, like that's something that's set up on like an automation in the back. I don't know as far as like, because then you like redistribute the information to make it better for Facebook than it is for YouTube or whatever the situation is. But if you come in, like you can connect all of them here, and you can post directly from here, or you can schedule it out, or you can set up an automation to schedule it out. Things of that nature. But
So it's best done through your system versus another company that you recommend?
so I really wouldn't, honestly, I really wouldn't say that, right? It just depends on the level of confidence and expertise you have in what you're doing, right? What I'm saying is this platform just gives you access to all the tools, right? And it will work really well, and it does what you want it to, but there's a lot of other ones that do. It depends on if you're wanting multiple things, or if you just want one thing, right? But it'll do whatever literally, if you wanted to post at a certain time, and then you wanted to like post again a couple minutes later, and then post over here, you can do all of that in here. I don't want anyone to feel like that there's not work involved in it, right? There is a lot of work involved in it, but it is a tool. It's like going and building a house, and you have a hammer and you have a saw, right? And back in the days, they used to have a hammer and a nail and no nail gun, right? And then they got the nail gun that just made it faster and better. It didn't mean you didn't still have to use the tool, right? The tool, and the tools just get better. So but yes, you can. The answer to your question is you can, in those automations, you can do any of those things you want to do, or you can do it in the actual
Yeah, I was just wondering what is the best automation tool for posting to Facebook, Instagram, and like LinkedIn at the same time?
Yeah. So, I mean, this is one of the most accessible ones I'm aware of, right? It doesn't mean that there's not other ones.
What's it called?
What's that?
What's this called?
So this is our platform right here. So you got access to Facebook, Instagram, Threads, GPT, LinkedIn, TikTok, and all of those can interconnect. If something happens here, you can make something happen over there.
Right.
Right? And so basically what this did is pulled all of those APIs together. That's really what it does. So now all you have to do is just hit the integrate button, right? And you put in your account. You go to the integrations, and then you just connect whatever it is, whether it's your email, your TikTok, Facebook, your QuickBooks, your Canva, your Clio, your Slack. Like, it just brings everything together. This, like, I'm just showing you the tools we use. That's basically what's happening. If you want to use them too, like, you guys are welcome to. But this is like one of the biggest things. And still, we deal with so many APIs every day personally because we're a strategy company. So we're having to go figure out what are you using now and how can we make it better, right? So we use APIs a lot, even though we still have this.
So on this portion, is there a way to, I guess, set up separate workflows that, like say for one you want to use for lead generation, that you post to a specific audience, but then you also want one with like people that you already work with, like if you want to congratulate them on end of a project or something like that, does it have the ability to differentiate those two and like scan? So like say if I chose a company and said, hey, scan this person or this entity and see what their, you know, most recent accomplishment is and post a congratulatory post for that, like it can do that?
Yeah.
But can you automate it to do that on like specific intervals?
I mean, it's honestly really scary.
Wow.
Like, AI, everybody thinks AI just popped up out of nowhere, but really it started happening 12, 15, 20 years ago. I mean, this has been going on a long time. It's just like really becoming real now in the last few years. Because if you think about the different things that we've had in technology over the last 20 years, it's all led right up to this. It just felt like, whoa, where did that come from? Truthfully, I have no idea why Google was not the first person. Google, like, I have no idea how ChatGPT ended up saying, hey, I'm AI, and Google was like, where everybody goes to get their information. Like, that is the data center, right? It blows my mind, but I can't tell you the reasoning behind that whatsoever. But yeah, I mean, AI didn't just get here, and it's a super powerful tool, just like depending on what you want to do with it and how you want to do with it. Hopefully answer that question well enough. Anybody else? So, I'm totally, man, look at that. It's not bad. I'm like, I've been rambling up here. We're at 10:02, that's good. So, happy to answer any questions, do one-on-ones, whatever. I do want to set something up with you. I'm willing to give you guys another free one-on-one, like to try to kind of help you strategize, see how you can use this the most. Like, but I don't know what you need to do until like I hear what you have going on, because every business is different. The golf course, Space Coast Golf Course. I mean, yeah, I'm always thinking like, oh, that I need to tell them to do that. But until you have a conversation with them, you have no idea. I don't know. I don't play golf. I started playing golf recently. I don't really understand what happens on the golf course. I just don't, right? I play softball. I've played baseball my whole life. I don't play golf. Starting to play golf now, and I want to learn to play golf, but I'm gonna have to have some training. However, when I went to have this conversation with them, I had no idea what tee times were, and how many tee times are back to back to back. And how much money those tee times cost them if they don't show up. And until I walk them through and ask them the questions, and did an audit on their business and where they were at, I never would have known that they have a scheduling issue with tee times, and that when those tee times cancel, it costs them literally $10,000 a month. Like, that's what they're losing, is $10,000 a month in tee times, because they cancel and they don't have a way to actually refill them. They don't have a wait list or anything like that. So, but I understand business, right? I understand business, I understand systems and processes. Combine that with AI. And that's like the piece of the business, the role I play in the business. My partners, they play roles in other pieces, tech, backing, stuff like that. But the piece I understand is just business itself, and what is the thing that's gonna move the needle the most, the fastest, because that's the thing you need to focus on. And then once we get that thing handled, then we can work on other things. So I wanna open it up and just say, you guys want to book some time, we'll give you guys a link. It's gonna be completely free, no strings attached. I'm more than willing to help you put a strategy together to help you use it, right? And if you know anybody that needs an AI partner, I'm not gonna tell you I won't help them, because I will help them, but that's what we are. We're an AI partner, we're not a tool. That's the simplest way. And definitely want to help and give back as much as possible. Thank you guys. I don't know who all's military, present, pastor. Thank you guys so much for your service. Really, it means a lot. My brother was a Green Beret. He wanted to retire in the military. Unfortunately, lost his wife while he was in the military, pretty tragically. So he made the decision to come out because of his kids. He didn't want to, but thank you. Two of my brothers are in the military. I really appreciate it. I didn't go to the military, but I'm super grateful for everyone that has. It gives us the freedom we have today. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Zach. Thank you.